what you really wanted was autonomy and freedom. What you built was another job. I'm Nate. I'm the FitFutureMD. I documented going from 315 pounds to 250 pounds. Pick up the free copy, 100% free, of the nutrition and workout guide in the description below if you're interested. Like I said, I made this channel because all I saw was people that were going from 150 pounds, bulking up to 160 pounds, and then back to 150 pounds, being successful on YouTube. Well, real life is not like that. Most of us that get into this are above 300 pounds, and that's what the free fitness and nutrition guide, or the nutrition and workout guide, is for, right? To help people like that. I'm the owner of Ensorsale, Ensorsale's family. Together we will rise up from humble beginnings to help everyone all over the world with inspirational messages on our clothing, because we will do epic stuff, right? Wear your inspiration today. Use code FitFutureMD for 20% off. All right, so you've been in a job for a long time, or you're, for whatever reason, you want to start a business, right? And you start your business and you quickly realize that you are working 100 hours a week and making a lot less money than you were if you would have just stayed at your job. So what you've done is you've just created another job. You have not created a successful business, right? And, I'm talking to myself here a lot, because obviously, starting a clothing brand, starting social media at first, right? So basically saying like, hey, I'm the biggest I've ever been, let's use the knowledge that we have in nutrition and health to get back healthy, right? Obviously, that ended up being more of a mental challenge than a physical one, right? Being able to mentally go through birthdays, holidays, and not participate in the things that you love, or that you think you love, or basically that you're addicted to, right? That the companies have gotten you addicted to. So all that basically is, what they call thankless work, right? Or work that has no ROI, or is ROI negative, right? You actually are losing sleep. You're not getting paid. You're, most of the time you're not even getting a like on a video, like, right? Because, when you're 302 pounds, but you've dropped from 315, like, people aren't listening to you. But when you're 155 pounds and you're shredded, for some reason people listen to those people, when most of them were naturally already lean, right? Their body type is lean, right? They don't have the cravings like someone that's 315 pounds is, or has, right? They don't have the cravings that someone that 315 pounds has. They don't, have the addictions, right? They're not eating because of stress or because of inadequate feelings of yourself, or whatever reason that you may have caused you to be overweight, right? Most of the time is genetic predisposition from the liver, right? Type 2 diabetes is 85% genetic in twin studies, right? So if one twin is separated from the other twin and they both end up with diabetes, type 2 diabetes, it's kind of hard to say that the environment caused the type 2 diabetes, especially if you send one to sub-Saharan Africa where there's no food and they still end up a type 2 diabetic. Like, it's saying that there's some kind of problem there, right? Some kind of genetic issue. right? And what it is it's a misfolded protein in the liver, right? So you get 60% of them correct, only and 40% of them bad, and eventually, the upregulation and all that stuff, your liver's calling for more food. You feel like you're starving, even though you're full burping up food, right? That's the whole cycle of type 2 diabetes. But I digress on that. But so the point of this video is to say, when you're deciding what business you want to do, you have to realize that yes, you are going to have to work more, right? Especially if it's a service-based business, right? So I really started being kind of successful at Instagram, and of course they changed their algorithm. You had to figure out a whole different thing. They always change the algorithm, right? So it definitely went from, oh, I'm working 40 hours a week just barely getting by, to, oh, I'm working 80 hours a week barely getting by, right? So you don't really want to do that. You want to figure out a way to use product and services or other people, or basically what we call leverage, to become more efficient, so you're not having to basically have another job, right, instead of a business. So that's what made social media so great. You could run ads to a product, and so many people did that. They ran ads before Apple changed their regulations, right? So you literally could target people exactly what they wanted based on their information, right? And it was great. It made, like, ads were so much better back then, because you didn't. So like, I would not get a tampon commercial in my YouTube, or a tampon commercial on my Facebook, or Instagram, when Apple was still, they were saying, oh, well, obviously he doesn't need a tampon. But now, it's kind of like throwing out there blind, because Apple doesn't let their information be shared to Facebook, to TikTok, all that kind of stuff, right? Luckily, as far as TikTok, they figured out the algorithm way to figure out what you like to send to you, which is a little bit better, but still, anyway, it made ads cheaper. So a lot of people got rich because of that target, marketing like that, right? Super rich. They went from broke to millionaire overnight, because their product was for a specific audience, and they could target that audience specifically and only spend money on that audience, right? But basically, you don't want to have a job that basically makes you, or have a business that basically makes you have another job, right? When you're an entrepreneur, you're a capitalist, right? So you're moving capital to start a business. Hopefully somebody else's capital, but sometimes when you're doing your first business or something that you love to do, right? So the person that I learned from, he literally sat at his store from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. every day, 7 days a week, all summer long, right? So he had basically made himself stuck at a spot, right? That's definitely one thing that I didn't want, right? So like, I moved to the beach to enjoy the beach. Well, when I got down here, I was working 3 jobs, right? So, obviously I wasn't enjoying the beach as much as I would have liked, right? And now, I don't have to do that. I'm working 1 job, right? So 3:30 in the afternoon, I can be on the beach, right? So, obviously I move closer to my job, right? So I'm not driving crazy amounts of hours, stuff like that, right? But you just need to, when you go looking for that career that's going to get you out, right? A lot of, like I say, the easiest ones to start are what's called service-based businesses, right? The overhead to start a service-based business is very low, right? Basically, for a $100 pressure washer, you know, maybe a $50 ladder, you know, you pretty much can pressure wash houses, right? For, you know, $100 in supplies, you can wash people's cars, right? Be a mobile detailer, whatever you want to call it. You know, so these are all service-based businesses. You can cut grass pretty cheap, right? Even if we got a guy, you know, in Morehead that he walks to all the grass he cuts, right? So he'll go cut 10 yards a day in his neighborhood. You know, he walks the push mower over there and cuts it, right? He used to have a little trailer he pulled behind him, but you know, stuff like that. Like, it's just a service-based business that are cheap to start, right? But that's also a bad thing, because that means you always have new competition, right? So it's what they call a red ocean, you know, where it's very cutthroat, instead of a blue ocean, right? Where it's wide open and nobody else is doing it, right? But it does take a certain experienced entrepreneur to go into a blue ocean where somebody's never done something before. So keep that in mind as well. But the point of getting out of the rat race is to not be in the rat race, right? So obviously, if you're a regular person, the easiest way to get out of the rat race is to invest, right? Invest in real estate, invest in the stock market, right? And, you know, you can figure out your percentages on that kind of stuff, you know, but in less than 10 years, you can be out of the rat race and free doing that, right? Whereas when you become a real entrepreneur, you're doing it for a bigger purpose. Like, I'm doing Ensorsale to change the world, right? Because you turn on the TV, or you pull out your phone, all you see is evil going on in the world, right? I want to be the person that shows the good, right? The inspirational messages that, you know, say, hey, there is still good out here in the world. I can be a part of this good, right? So I can be a part of Ensorsale, right? That's why I say Ensorsale is family. We're all family trying to improve the world, right? So, you know, I hope this helped you out, guys. So if you're going to start your own business, you know, obviously realize that you can start it with a service-based business, make a bunch of money, and then transition into what you really want to do. You don't necessarily want to start a business where you're working with no results, right? So keep that in mind. Let me know in the comments down below what kind of business you would start, right? Shop at Ensorsale.com. Use code FitFutureMD for 20% off. And wear your inspiration. Share this video with somebody that needs it. And we'll see you in the next one. Peace.